Hi everybody. We are happy today here because we have with us Robert Eriksson, one of the most famous coaches in judo in the last years. He have the honor to be nominated as one of the best coaches last year in 2021. So, hi Robert, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you, Philip, for having me.
So
Nice
I
introduction. I don't know, say one of the famous coaches. I don't know about that, but
No, at least in Europe, everybody know that your career was really good, especially in the last years with the Swedish national team.
yeah.
So yeah, we think many times to invite the different coaches. I always thinking about invite you, but it's true that in the last weeks we heard that you are going to get a new role for the government. Later, I think you can explain us about this new position.
Of
But I
course.
think now, if I think maybe it's good to start to review about your past years with the national team. I have here some data. They say that you were with the national team the 17 years, right? With the Swedish national team.
Yes, almost a little bit more actually. I started in September 2004 as a national coach, but even before that, I was working with many of the top players in Sweden as a coach, not national coach, because I was like my last year when I was athlete, I started also with a little bit coaching, and then I had one small period. I was like personal coach, club coach for
Mhm.
some of the top players in Sweden. Then I became national coach.
So I
So
think as a coach, it was a long career in the same team, but at the same time, I think it's good to develop your project. Finally, you can start maybe with a lower level, but after along the years, you can develop a great team with good results in international level. So can you explain us how was this process during all these years, or how many changes you have, or how was your experience with that?
uh, yeah, it's been first to say it's been a great experience. Of course, it's been a really long journey. It's been a really tough job for me. For the beginning was not easy for me. I had a really rough time in the beginning when I started my coaching career directly as after my athlete career. So I was just more or less from one day to another. I started my coaching career, and of course I had an ambition and a will. I wanted to change something, but it's not easy. You think when you're an athlete, you think the big coach is not that complicated. It's just this and this. But when you start coaching, you realize how hard it is. It's really hard, and it's especially in Sweden when we come from this period, it was not so successful country. We had some key players throughout the
Mhm.
years, but we see in a system or in a national team level, it was not really strong period. But I had an idea, I had a concept, and I can say throughout the years, I stick to it. Of course, some things have changed during the training process, and everything has got like judo today compared to 20 years ago is different. It's a big difference. Like everything is a big difference. Of course, we have changed, but my idea, my attitude of coaching, and my personality has always been the same, I would say. But it took a couple of years. We managed, me together with another coach. His name was Jacob Renius. He was working together with me from the beginning, and he was working with the cadets and juniors, and I was working with the seniors. But we work a lot together. And in a couple of years, 3-4 years into this, we started to create the new group, the new generation. Like the first one who come from this was Martin Pacek. He was before 100 kilo. He was one of the first that came through this system. And then we had Marcus, Anna, Mia, Joachim, and all they come in different areas, but different time groups, age groups, sorry. But they start to come through this system. So yeah, then throughout the years we got better and better. We got better resources, and I think for the last 10 years we have been fighting for medals in a lot of the World Judo Tour events, and the last years also in the World Championships and also in the Olympic Games. but we didn't win a medal Olympic Games, but we fight for a medal in Rio, and so the level really changed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would like to ask you about how is the structure in the Sweden, because I heard also some interview about you, and you explain a little bit how is the system in Sweden. You explained that you don't have maybe sometimes enough support, so many athletes they are not professional athletes. They must do work, or maybe don't have enough sponsorship. So during all these years, I know that maybe you have more support from the government, because when you have a good result.
Yeah.
But now they change the system. I mean, they have did you find a way to make the system more professional, to develop the athletes for the high level, or how is the current situation now in Sweden for the high level?
Like we say the general structure in Sweden, like the general sport, like the structure for general sport is quite for high performance is not really good financial situation for what do we say, like public sports will make soccer, ice hockey, these kind of sports. Okay, they are commercial sports, they make money from. But for the other sports like Olympic sports, etc., that you need to be at a really high level to have a good support. And of course, when we started, we did not have much support. We did not have. I managed to create a plan and managed also to get the Swedish Olympic Committee and the Swedish Sport Confederation to accept it and support it. And in the beginning, it was rough, but then we managed to get some results. And then, of course, from where we started, when I started until now, I would say the support system is maybe 5 times as high in money. So of course we have a bigger support system now. We have bigger program and a better structure, but of course it's still, for this group who are in the middle, it's still hard. The most of them, or better system, of course, we build a long-term plan, which got accepted by the government and the Olympic Committee, and they supported it. And of course, when we started to do results, we got more funding. In fact, like judo is a really expensive sport when it comes to high performance. Like, as it's a very global sport, we have to travel all over the world. And especially for us, as we didn't have so much training partners at home, we traveled a lot to training camps and etc. So for many years, we were one of the most supported sports for summer Olympics. And of course, with that, it also comes a big responsibility to deliver results. So it's a little bit two sides of it. But yeah, we managed to build over time a better structure, a better system, and now we even develop it even more with more coaches and the training center, national training center, etc. For the last 2 years.
I would like to ask you about the expectations, because about sometimes when you start to have a good result, sometimes the politics, they have higher expectations sometimes than the coach, because the coach, they know how difficult are for example, Olympic medals. So after, for example, the World Championship, the 2 medals in the World Championship 2021, do you think the high expectations finally, what do you think about the government, if they continue to support the program, or is a problem if we're going to achieve the medal?
Of course, the expectation was high. Even before Rio, it was very high for judo, because we have when we went to Rio, we had a couple of the athletes who was really high in the ranking, and of course now for Tokyo it was the same, especially with the world medals. Of course, we know also we bring the world medals, but it was very close to the Olympics, so it was a little bit different situation. Okay, the expectation was very high, and we didn't fulfill them, unfortunately. But I would say even we didn't fulfill them, we still have a good trust in the Swedish sport. Probably be even better, of course, if we had brought a medal from the Olympics, of course. But we didn't lose. We lose some money, some funding, but this is because we have less people in the Olympic team now. But because some people retired, etc., and then we don't have so many new But this we knew before. Like now we have to prepare for long term again, like we did for 10 years ago. We have to start again with. Okay, we have maybe now 1 or 2 who can fight in Paris, but we have to
I
looking
would like
for.
to ask you because after the Olympic Games in December, I think is when Sally Conway, the Sweden team, decided to hire a new coach, and you started a new role also as performance director or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why you think it's a new project, it's a new long-term plan, and that's why you prefer to stay more focused on the management, or
The
this situation?
thing was, we did what we did throughout these years, and it worked good with the team we had and the situation I was in. But for me as a coach, this was not sustainable for over time. Like I was not able to continue in the same way as a coach, because I was very by myself. I did a lot by myself, very, very much. I traveled all the time, managing everything, trying to find the fundings, and it was like a big workload for me and a pressure. And also, of course, I have a family, small kids, and they never see me, So even before Tokyo, I decided I would quit as a coach. Okay, then the pandemic come, so we have to prolong for 1 year. And during that time, during the corona, as the judo went down a little bit, we get more time to work with some other areas we didn't have time with during the normal time. So then we started I started to build like an organization I wanted after the Olympic Games, with a national training center, with more coaches. And in this line of this structure, I wanted Sally as head coach, because she was a good level in athlete. She's a young coach. She's starting. I think it could be a good experience for her to start in, and she can be a good role model for our athletes. And also, I wanted some international experience in the team in Sweden. But also, I wanted to develop our own coaches, young coaches. That's why we also have this Victor Karlsson, who's also working together with Sally. So we have a good combination of young coaches with some international expertise. And on my new position as a high performance director, I support them as good as I can to make them do what they should do, coaching. So they do more or less focus only on the coaching, and I do everything else, like all the boring stuff, what do you want to call it? So now we have a better structure. We have a little bit more coaches. We still gonna have to bring in even more coaches. So that's why we make a new organization, and this also made, and now this is running good. It's running fine. And then also I can see there's opportunity for me. We can talk about it later, but for me to move on to other work.
Yeah, another interesting thing that I read the last month is about as you told before, that we have more coaches. I saw that the Jen Bridge is going to start to cooperate with your federation as education for programs, maybe for the coaches. So I think it's interesting because sometimes I think the national team just focus on the present, but you are thinking about the future, especially in a small country. I think it's important to develop the young generation, long-term development. So yeah, what can you say?
Yeah, but I think always this has always been my idea to work in a long term, like not only work here and now. I always been very keen enough to make sure we have a system and a program for a long term, and to also to include everybody, also the coaches and other people who are supporting. So then the education has been a little bit problem in Sweden, but it's never really. It's been okay, but not perfect. Then the federation bring in Jane, and so which I think is a very good idea, because she's also neutral. She comes from another country. She can focus on this technical development with the future coaches, and we work a lot together. Me and Jane, we have a good collaboration. How the national team and education side can work together for both educate the younger players and the coaches in the same time. So I think this can be a good structure for the future.
And about the future, for example, for the next Olympics in Paris, so it's not only a little more than 2 years.
Yeah.
So how is the Sweden team? Because I saw that many of your athletes before, some of them they are quite old now, but still they are not retired. So maybe they still have enough energy to go to the next Olympics. So how is the current situation with this generation, and about the future? How is your expectations about the future for maybe Los Angeles or next Olympics?
We can say like this: after Tokyo, we decided that from after Tokyo until the future, it's going to be a long-term development plan. Like we're going to work really long term to develop the athletes for 28. This is the main focus. This is what is the main idea for a whole national team. Then we have a few athletes, as you said, the most retired, but we have a couple of them still in there from the old team with Marcus Nyman and Anna Bernholm. And then we have one girl, Ida Eriksson, in 70 kilo also, who is in the middle a little bit. So for them, of course, we're going to push them for the Olympics. But as they are older, they are not able maybe to do the same as, of course, as the younger athletes are. So we can make a good combination until Paris for them. And also for the younger generation, it's good to have them to show the way for 28. I think it's a good experience to have them as in the team as role models. But of course, if they can stay, if they're motivated and the body can accept it for them, we're going to support them for Paris. And I think for Marcus, if he can stay healthy, he can be a pain for many athletes to fight in the Olympics for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Can he bring a medal or not? I don't know. This is different, of course. In this high level, you never know. But for sure, he's going to be a contender. I think if he can stay healthy.
So yeah, to talk about your position in the future. So finally, yeah, we talked before that you're going to get a new position working for the sports government or sport. I don't know how it works in Sweden. So can you explain us a little bit how is your new role in your new position?
Yeah, so I'm gonna retire from the national team in January, 1st of January. I'm gonna still be a little bit around as a support. Of course, they have to start a new, find a new position, find a new structure, what to do when I am out, because again, I've been there for so long time. So we have to see what we do. But I will finish in January, and then I start my new job, which is in the Swedish Sport Confederation. And this is like the organization where all sports in Sweden are members in this confederation. And I work in the high performance department, where we provide the support for financial support and also with resources for whatever, nutrition, test, physical training, everything. So I'm gonna work. My main task is gonna be a link between other sports national teams, and research, research projects that we do in universities and how we link them together with to the development of sports. And in this confederation, it is I think it's 71 sports. And of these 71 sports, it's 65, I think, who has some kind of high performance support. And of course, from this, there is 25, 30 is Olympic sports. So my role is going to be more or less try to help, easy explained, try to help other sports to develop together with research and education with universities to try to find ways to make it development.
So do you think they hired you because you did a really good job with the judo? Maybe they try to help the other sports to develop as good as you did in judo, or?
Yeah, I think one reason is because, of course, judo has been we have made ourselves a good name in Swedish sports, because we have a good reputation. We are very professional. Our athletes behave very good. They are very good role models. And we have created a good system, a good plan, and they have seen this work over time. And of course, they like what we have done. And we also must realize that judo, we don't have these traditions in Sweden. You know, Sweden, we have cross-country skiing or biathlon or ice hockey. We have good traditions. So if they bring a world medal, Olympic medal, it's normal. But when we start in judo with no traditions, we start to work with really high players, high-level players, and they bring medal in the world's European championships and in the world ranking. This is noticed, of course, that development. So of course, my job in judo gave me this opportunity, for sure.
I would like to ask you about the number of licenses in Sweden, because in a small country, although it's not a popular sport, did you increase the number of people who practice judo in the last years, or the numbers is more or less stable through the years? What is the situation?
The numbers has gone up quite. It's still low. I think we have on the license now 21,000 or something. It's not much, but when as lowest, I think it was 16,000 or something. So the last years it's been growing, and I think it still will be grow more. But judo is this kind of sport in Sweden where every time you meet, not every time, but a lot of the time you meet somebody, and you say you mentioned judo, whatever. Say, oh, I have done judo. I have an orange belt or yellow belt, but
it happens.
so many people has been in the sport, but didn't stay. It didn't stay because it's it's different to football. Or like in football, you after one training you can start playing a game more or less. But in judo, it takes a little bit more time, especially when you. It takes time to be good in judo, and this is not for everybody, of course, unfortunately. So it's I would say it's a well-known sport, but it's maybe not that big practiced.
So on the question, one of the last questions is about do you think you are going to miss the last role about in the mat just with your athletes, because finally, it's what you did the last 20 years. Do you think?
Of course, I'm gonna miss it. It's not. It was not an easy decision for me. Of course not. This is nothing I changed in one day. I've been thinking for this for a long time, but also I'm not getting younger. If I want to change something, I have to do it now. But of course, I'm gonna miss it. It's been fantastic years, and we had really, really good moments. Not only winning, of course, we like winning. This is our main goal, of course, to win medals, but also to see them how they develop and all these moments we spent together in training camps and competition all over the world, and it's been, it's always, as a coach, you always have to approach success and failure, because this is it's hard to replace with something else. This action, this adrenaline with the fights, big fights in the World Championships, Olympics, or whatever. It's of course this is different, but everything has its time, I think. And now I'm happy we can hopefully create new coaches who can do the same over the next 10-15 years in Sweden, and I can support them. I think it can make it easy for them, because when I started, I didn't have much support. So hopefully maybe now they have a better start than I had.
And also about the last result about Marcus Newman in the Grand Slam, maybe it's a bit special for you because you get the goal in the Grand Slam in the maybe one of your last competitions.
It was really, this this Grand Slam was decided before I decided to quit my job, but after Olympics, Marcus had a break again, as you always have, and I said, okay, you do what you want, and we see later. And then we had some conversations on and off, and then he called me in the summer and said, okay, now I'm ready to come back, because he has a small daughter, and she's starting kindergarten, etc. So he has more time and can do it, and I'm always in good shape, because we talk and I see how much he's fighting Bundesliga, etc. And I say, okay, we make a plan for the World Championships for you. He say, no, Robert, I don't feel ready for the World Championships. I need more time to. I can tell you, he was ready for the World, but in his mind he was not. Okay, no problem. we make up training plan and we make it some training camps and say we go for Baku as you start, and then we see what happens. And we made some training camps, and I could see his progress, and his physical condition was getting better and better. And okay, I saw when I saw him in Baku, I said, okay, he can fight for a medal. Okay, now it became gold. It was fantastic, but maybe not what I expected. But it was nice. It was nice for him to come back and feel confident again. It was nice to me to finish our work together with this medal, and also it was good for Sally to start with him in this way also. So yeah, I think this Grand Slam was good in many ways for all of us. And yeah, as I said, it was, we win the first medal again together 12 years ago, and now we win the last together, and because it was a special moment. I'm very happy that I could experience it, of course, because he was one of my first athletes. You know, I worked with him as a national coach since he was 14. So of course it's been a long time together.
Okay, and the last question, because we know you are busy, especially in this time, maybe. So just I would like to ask, because in the social media today, we announced that we are going to have an interview with you, and one coach who is a friend who is working in Switzerland, he asked about if it's possible to go into training there. I saw many times on teams training in your national center, so I think so, but of course you can tell much better how is the process. Maybe they need to contact the national team, or how it works.
Yeah, there's always possibilities to come to train in national center. We try to invite some players and nations to come for training camps or for regular training during the week. Also, we have in our training center, in our new system, we have a budget where we can invite players to come to create a good atmosphere for the ones we have there. So yeah, we have had players from a couple of countries being there. So of course there's always a possibility. They just can contact me or Sally, Victor, and then it's of course a possibility.
Okay, so Marcus, just we would like to wish good luck. Sure that you are going to work hard in your new role. So
sure.
I know that you are going to do a really good job there. Sure
hope.
that the Judo Federation, they are going to miss you, but I'm sure that they are going to call you many times and try to
Maybe they are happy now. Now they have, finally I'm gone. They can do something else. Maybe, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, but I think it's a good. I think for every country, every nation, you need sometimes to make it, because now it's been my voice for so long time, and it's time for some new voice also. You know, you can see things in a different way, and yeah, it was my style, my time, but this is not forever. This is not for everybody, of course not.
Okay, Marcus, so good luck, and I hope we can meet each other maybe as a spectator, or for sure you are going to continue watching judo. So for sure we can meet again sometime. Okay.
No problem.
Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.